The Flipside Story of Gloc 9. In the realm of Filipino hip-hop, there's one name that echoes beyond music, beyond generations, and even beyond fame, Gloc 9. Known for his lightning-fast rhymes and brutally honest lyrics, Gloc 9 built an empire, not with controversy or viral antics, but with raw truth. But behind the mastery of flow and the socially charged verses is a shocking story, one that's rarely told. It's a journey of rejection, doubt, pressure, and ultimately, resilience. Because Gloc 9 didn't just rap his way to the top, he fought through silence, industry politics, and inner struggles most of us will never see. Let's pull back the curtain and uncover the side of Gloc 9 the public doesn't always see. Aristotle Polisco, aka Gloc 9, didn't come from a place of privilege or fame. He was a nurse, a working-class dreamer from Binangonan, Rizal, just trying to survive. When he started rapping, he didn't have flashy clothes or a catchy image. What he had was hunger, a deep desire to use his voice as a weapon of change. He wasn't just telling stories, he was speaking the language of the streets, the unheard, the unseen. But here's the shocker. Nobody wanted to hear it at first. In his early days, Gloc 9 faced constant rejection. His rap group Death Threat had potential, but the industry had little space for hard truths. Labels wanted romance, novelty songs, dance hits. Not a kid spitting lines about poverty, politics, and pain. At one point, he was even told his lyrics were too deep for the masses, that Filipinos didn't want to think, they just wanted to dance. Can you imagine being told that your voice doesn't matter? That your truth is too much? That being intelligent and conscious is a weakness? But Gloc 9 didn't fold. He kept writing. He kept recording. He slept in cramped spaces, rode jeepneys for hours, performed for food, and still went to bed with verses in his head. He sacrificed stability for the dream of being heard, not for fame, but for purpose. And then, slowly, something began to change. When he dropped Simpling Tao, the game shifted. Suddenly, people started listening. They heard the pain in his voice, the pride in his lyrics, and the mirror he was holding up to society. He wasn't just rapping anymore, he was documenting history. Every verse became a snapshot of the Filipino struggle. Every song became a classroom for the lost, the broken, the angry, and the hopeful. But here's another shocking twist. The fame came with a price. Once he started gaining recognition, the pressure intensified. Big labels wanted him to switch up his message. Advertisers wanted a softer, more commercial version of Gloc 9. Collaborators wanted him to stop talking about politics. Some shows even asked him to skip certain songs, especially those that spoke against corruption or inequality. But he refused to sell out. And that decision, it cost him opportunities. He lost shows. He got sidelined by some networks. He wasn't always invited to the biggest stages. But Gloc 9 stood firm. Because for him, rap was never about the charts, it was about changing lives. Despite the odds, he released hits like Lando, Upuan, Serena, and Magda, each one a punch to the gut, a reminder of the country's ongoing battles. He gave voices to OFWs, to LGBTQ+ individuals, to victims of abuse, to the poor. And every single line was laced with compassion, fire, and unwavering truth. And still, people underestimated him. In an industry that rewards controversy and spectacle, Gloc 9 became a quiet warrior. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't starting beef. He wasn't flexing jewelry. But his bars? They cut deeper than any diss track ever could. He proved that you could be humble, clean, and principled, and still dominate. And let's talk about longevity. How many artists have come and gone, blown up overnight, and vanished just as fast? Yet Gloc 9 is still here, still writing, still mentoring new rappers, still using his platform to teach. That's because he built his career not on hype, but on legacy. He once said, "On Calaban ko dito, sarili ko." And that's the most shocking revelation of all. Behind the lyrics, behind the legend, is a man who constantly doubts himself. A man who questions if he's still relevant, if his words still matter, if he's done enough. That level of vulnerability, of being on top, but still feeling small, that's what makes him so real, so human. And maybe that's what sets Gloc 9 apart. He never saw himself as a celebrity. He saw himself as a vessel, a voice. And no matter how much success he achieved, he never let go of the purpose. He kept visiting schools, talking to the youth, standing up for the voiceless, and rapping about the truths most are too scared to say out loud. In a world chasing clout, Gloc 9 chased clarity. In a genre built on flexing, he flexed conscience. And that's why he remains untouchable. So here's what I want to ask you. Do we still value artists who speak truth without theatrics? Do we still recognize those who fight silently without needing a scandal go viral? Or are we too distracted by fame and flash to see the real legends among us? Gloc 9's story isn't just a music journey. It's a lesson in purpose, principle, and the power of staying true even when it's inconvenient. Because in the end, it's not just about the bars, it's about the heart behind them. What about you? Has Gloc 9's journey impacted how you see your own voice? Do you believe that staying true, even when it's hard, is still the best path to success? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's start a real conversation about integrity, music, and what it really means to make a difference. Because sometimes the most powerful stories aren't the loudest, they're the most honest.